What the heck is going on with Helldivers 2? In the past 5 days, Helldivers 2 has been removed from the PC market in 177 countries, and the game's ratings on Steam have collapsed under the weight of more than 200,000 negative reviews, falling from positive to mixed. It's now Tuesday, and the Helldivers 2 Steam page is full of people ranting against Sony and celebrating democracy. And for anyone getting their first look at the game, it's all a bit confusing. Here's what happens. Helldivers 2 is a third-person cooperative shooter developed by indie team Arrowhead Game Studios and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It launched directly on PlayStation 5 and Steam on February 8, marking a rare example of cross-platform parity from Sony. Immediately, Helldivers 2 was a huge success on PC. It recorded more concurrent players on Steam than any other PlayStation game, beating out God of War, Spider-Man Remastered, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us Part 1. Helldivers 2 was very popular, and in the first few weeks, Arrowhead's servers had trouble meeting demand and had to be capped at 450,000 players. Totally exhausted by success, Arrowhead CEO Johan Pilestad tweeted 1 week after launch. And so is the team. Many late nights, calls, emergency meetings, discussions about server capacity, partitions, capacity units, CPU usage, login rates, CPU. Tired, but very happy. Helldivers 2 Sony Interactive Entertainment. Helldivers 2 is one of the first tests of Sony's long-term cross-platform goals. While Pilestad was evaluating Helldivers 2's launch week, Sony executives were telling investors about their new plans to aggressively chase revenue streams on PC. Sony President Hiroki Totaki said the goal is to proactively launch first-party games on PC alongside PlayStation, a shift from the company's old approach of console first. Helldivers 2 is not a first-party Sony game, but it is exclusive to the PlayStation 5 console, and Sony is supporting its development as its publisher. As long as Helldivers 2 has a Steam page, it also has Eddie's own yellow notification box alerting players that they will need to link a PlayStation Network account in order to play. According to Sony, account linking is all in the name of security and cross-platform play, but of course it also helps boost the studio's monthly active PSN user numbers. Due to the game's early network issues, Sony decided to delay account linking requirements when Helldivers 2 launched on Steam on February 8. It arrived on the PC digital storefront for $40 without any notable region or account binding restrictions. For about 3 months, Helldivers 2 has been out in the sun, and then it started to burn. Sony announced on Thursday, May 2, that all Helldivers 2 Steam players will be required to log into their PSN accounts in order to continue accessing the game on PC. This requirement will go into effect for new players on May 6, and existing players will start seeing a mandatory login prompt at the end of the month. Due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we have temporarily made the requirement to link Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account optional, Sony's announcement said. This grace period will end now. Normally this wouldn't be a big problem, since PSN accounts are free and relatively easy to link to Steam. However, Helldivers 2 is sold out worldwide, and PSN is only available in 73 countries. This would leave over 100 countries and territories in the lurch, with these players unable to play a game they have already paid for. Refunds were also out of the question for most players, especially the most dedicated players, since Steam is generally limited to games played for less than 2 hours. The bad reviews started pouring in. Neither Arrowhead nor Sony seem to know what to do next. Sony posted a Helldivers 2 Discord FAQ that did not provide solutions, instead appearing to advise affected players to create PSN accounts in different countries, which is a violation of the platform's terms. It became clear through tweets and Discord updates that while Sony was the driving force behind the PSN requirements, the Arrowhead developers kind of hated it. They even encouraged show riots. I want people to air their displeasure in a place where it might actually make a difference. Steam reviews and refund requests will do that. Angry posting in Discord won't. Arrowhead Assistant Community Manager Spitz posted to the game's Discord server Friday. I'm not happy with this decision either. Over the weekend, more than 200,000 people posted negative reviews for Helldivers 2 on Steam, bringing its overall rating down. On Sunday, May 5th, Sony silently removed Helldivers 2 from Steam in 177 countries and territories that don't have access to PSN. On the same day, Arrowhead CEO Bylestad tweeted, "We're talking about solutions with PlayStation, especially for non-PSN countries. Your voice has been heard, and I'm doing everything I can to speak up for the community, but I don't have the last word." On May 6th, the day PSN requirements for new players went into effect, Sony backed off. The company tweeted that its account linking plans will not move forward. The message continued, "We are still learning what is best for PC players and your feedback has been invaluable. We thank you again for your continued support of Helldivers 2 and we will keep you updated on future plans." Helldivers 2 can now be played in every Steam region, with the option to link a PSN account. Notably, it is not purchasable in countries that Sony banned on May 5th. However, the game's review score for PC is slowly recovering as troublemakers return to tweak their ratings, now alongside cheeky messages about the power of democracy. On Monday, Bylestad quoted Sony's reverse tweet and added, "First, I admire the Helldivers 2 community's willpower and ability to collaborate. Second, I'd like to thank our partners and friends at PlayStation for making the quick and effective decision to leave PSN tethering optional. Together we want to set the standard." A refresher on what live gaming is, and how developers and the community can support each other to create the best gaming experiences. With Helldivers 2, it was easy to avoid the account linking issue. Sony was deliberately selling a game to people who wouldn't be able to play it, but first, it gave them a paid trial and 3 months of false hope. At best, it appears that Sony was completely unaware of the logistics that would support its bold new PC strategy. At worst, the whole thing seems rather diabolical. It's not clear what the 2024 Helldivers 2 Steam riots will mean for future Sony games on PC, but another test is coming soon with the release of Ghost of Tsushima Cut on May 16th. Just like Helldivers 2, the game's Steam page has very little information. The yellow rectangle warns players that a PSN account is required for online multiplayer and PlayStation overlay. According to SteamDB, Ghost of Tsushima is currently on sale in a few countries that don't have PSN. With Helldivers 2 set to premiere on May 3rd, Ghost of Tsushima developer Sucker Punch Productions responded to a concerned fan on not required to play the single-player game. As long as the terms of participation are clear and Sony does not try to pull the rug out from under the players 3 months after the game's release, all of this seems good. Account linking isn't a new or even rare scenario in gaming. Microsoft, including Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Riot, EA and most other major video game studios require a special login to access their games on Steam and other third-party storefronts. The problem with Helldivers 2 was not related to account linking. The problem was Sony's short-sighted execution of a high-profile PC launch and its poor communication with upset gamers after the fact. Most gamers want to see PlayStation titles on PC, and Sony wants to make as much money as possible from its core franchises by putting them on additional platforms. This should be a win-win plan. With Helldivers 2, it was like winning and losing, but at least we got there in the end. Update, May 7th, 3 p.m. ET. This article previously reported that Helldivers 2 was available for purchase on Steam regardless of region, but upon publication, it was still delisted in countries without PSN.